Okay, guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to go over the definitions for the Road to Revolution. These you're going to see on your upcoming tests, and it's also keywords that we're going to be using during the chapter. So if you follow along on your sheet, copy down the definitions as I explain what each one is. And if you have any trouble with this, or if you need to go back, just hit pause and rewind it a little bit and get all the words. So the first one here is going to be alliance. Alliance is an agreement between nations or groups to aid and support one another. So basically, if you think about it, if you're sitting at lunch and you say, hey, I'll give you some Fritos if you give me a corn dog, and we'll work together to have the best lunch ever, you're making an alliance. You're making an agreement between two people to get something out of it. So supporting each other. Next one is a militia. Militia today would be known as like an army or the military, but before the revolution, it wasn't America. We were just a colony. So a militia is an organized body of armed volunteers. Volunteers, just like today with the Army. Everyone that goes into the services today is a volunteer. A petition you've heard of before, it's a formal written request to someone in authority signed by a group of people. So basically, like if you guys wanted to change a rule like no hats in school, if you guys all signed your name on a piece of paper and then you brought it in, then you could get something changed. Kind of like when we did the Salem witch trials, everybody put their name on a petition saying that some people were witches. Next one here is a boycott. Boycott is an organized campaign to refuse to buy or use certain goods. So basically, if you're upset with something like, I don't know, school lunches again, if we say, all right, no one's buying lunch for this week, that might get a message across and have something change. Or Stewart's, we're really upset with the size of the scoop for the ice cream, so we're not going to buy ice cream. Well, Stewart's would hurt money-wise, so you might get them to change it. So that's what a boycott does. Next one, duty is an import tax. Basically, if there's a tax on anything coming into the country, we call it a duty tax. Writs of assistance. This is a court order that allowed officials to make searches without saying what they were searching. So imagine a police officer showing up to your house and opening up your door and then just going through your room and through your house without having what we call today a search warrant. That's what that was. Repeal means to cancel, so like to take back, to repeal. Minutemen. This is the colonial militia or military volunteer who was prepared to fight at a minute's notice. Basically, everyone would have their gun next to their bed, and so if Paul Revere came through and said, the British are coming, you grabbed your gun and you were ready in a minute's notice to fight. Last little bit is blockade. Blockade, think of it like blocking something to shut a port or a roadway to prevent people or supplies from moving into or leaving an area. So by using your battleships, you can block goods getting to Cuba, like today, or you can block people on the roadway so they can't get into town. So you're making a cutoff or making it inconvenient for someone else. So that's a blockade. And mercenary is a soldier who fights merely for pay. So a mercenary is someone that's hired to fight for your side. Now, the last bit here are going to be the most important people that you need to know. So, George Washington, leader of the First Continental Army and also became the first president of the United States. John Adams, he's a lawyer from Boston. We're going to end up watching a video on him coming up, so you see here. John Adams, lawyer from Boston for the Boston Massacre and also a future president. He was also George Washington's first vice president. Samuel Adams, committee of correspondence to get the message out about independence. So basically, Sam Adams was a person that was making flyers and posters and newspapers and posting them all over Boston to get people really fired up about wanting to fight the British. This is what we call a small splinter group that was called the Sons of Liberty. That was a hidden group. No one really knew who was part of it, but they organized things kind of like the Boston Tea Party and fought up after the massacre. And Patrick Henry, the famous Patrick Henry, an advocate for independence, he said, give me liberty or give me death. If we cannot have freedom, I do not want to live. All right, so if you have any trouble with the words or if you need to go back for the definitions, you can go back through the video, pause it at any time, and copy down what you got. All right, guys, make sure you have this all done. See you later.